is football time. We're back. Run Pure Sports preseason edition. We got a 2-gamer tonight. Full booth, 6-man booth for you. We got Snyder, Rubio Dimes, Big T, myself, JSU, you Kill Bill Walsh, and Kurt. Big Kurt, what's up, baby? How we doing tonight?
What's up? Football is back. Fall's almost here. You can smell it. I'm ready to go, baby. Let's go.
He's ready to go, as he says. What's up, Big T? Right above Kurt. What's going on, Big T?
Just admiring you Kill Bill Walsh like always.
Yeah, you Kill Bill Walsh. I mean, how rich. This dude's got a camera that moves with him. If you want to just give the people a little quick movement there, just look at that. I mean, this guy.
Someone got the sack. Yeah,
he's owning all of us, and we just started the show, and he already owned all of us. I mean, Rubio Dimes right above him. What's up, Rubio Dimes? I haven't seen you in a little bit. You look good. Did you have your Burger King this morning? What was your meal of choice today? Skittles?
It was peanut butter crackers and more peanut butter crackers and Cheetos and a cake. That's all I had today, actually. And this red Powerade and a Red Bull.
Does Grayson is that what Grayson eats? Like
no one has worse food takes in the world than Kurt and has the worst golf takes. Rubio has the worst food takes.
I really thought it would be me that has the worst food takes on almost any show.
Yeah, his are way worse. He was like saying the chicken sandwich from B-Dubs is the best. It's just embarrassing his food takes.
If you say anything from B-Dubs is the best, best, it's just embarrassing. Yeah. I'm sorry. B-Dubs is fine, but let's
I forget some of his other ones, but some of his other ones were just as bad. He's had some horrendous ones.
All I know is there was one Twitter post where he had Skittles and I don't even know what else, just some random, 3 different types of
Pop-Tart, baby.
Yes, that's what it was, a Pop-Tart. I'm just sitting there what is this dude doing? He needs to come down and hang out with me for 2 weeks, Rubio. We'll get you eating right. We'll get you moving right. Everything. You'll be
I've been trying to get it right for a year and a half. It's no change happening.
Do you mix in a veggie every now and then?
Do veggie chips count? Because I kind of have one of those every now and then.
They're basically chips.
Veggie
chips.
No.
Those don't count. Snyder, what's up, man? How was the golf this afternoon for you?
Yeah, it's starting out pretty good. Everyone but Rory. I did play some Rory. He's looking like maybe he shouldn't have taken that 2-week break there where he didn't touch a club. But otherwise, it's looking good. Very excited to get into NFL and college football season. So pumped to be here.
All right, I love it. And Snyder has been doing those best ball videos with Simon. I know Big T hopped on one. If you guys like best ball, you can go check those out. There's on this channel, the YouTube channel, Run Pure Sports. You can find all those videos on the channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you'll get all those shows popped up to you when they go live. So check that out. All right, boys, 2 games. We'll go team by team just to make this easy. And we'll start right at the top with the first game. We got the Pats and the Giants here. Patriots are not supposed to play their starters, I'm pretty sure. And I think the Giants are going to play their starters a little bit. Let's start with the Patriots side of the ball, and then we'll move to the Giants. Rubio, you're our news guy here. Is there any news that I missed from the Patriots side?
I mean, it looks like Pierre Strong's in, so we kind of have a clear take of what we're going to get from them. It looks like Zapp's probably going to play the whole game. Zappy, the Western Kentucky legend. I know Bruce will definitely be able to tell us more about his career. But, yeah, it's the running backs. This is the most popular team on the slate. Everyone's going to have, at least 3-4 Patriots even. So we know where the playing time is going to come from. There's not much that you missed really at all. So, it's going to be a chalky team, but it's going to be good chalk.
All right, Patriots, good chalk, but everyone's going to be on Patriots tonight. Bruce, what do we got here from the Patriots side? Anybody? I mean, obviously a lot of these guys are going to stick out because you probably go on any projection site for any of these guys, and the Patriots are just going to be popping like crazy.
Yeah, definitely. The wide receivers especially, running backs are very thin. You just have Strong and Harris there. And then, of course, our guys, Lil Jordan Humphrey and Tyquan Thornton at wide receiver. Those guys should be very popular with them only having 5 guys that should be suited up there.
Yeah, and those 5 guys, Bruce, do you think that they're all just going to get a bunch of ownership? Do you think like 1 or 2 of those guys are going to be like much higher owned than the rest of them? How do you think that kind of shakes out?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of sites, just doing some research, going around and kind of looking around, and most have all 5 guys listed as plays. So I think they'll be pretty owned. Maybe a guy like Trey Nixon could go a little bit under owned. Could be top heavy with maybe Wilkerson and Humphrey being owned. I read a little bit in The Athletic where they possibly want to get Tyquan Thornton a little bit more snaps because he's looked really, really good so far in camp.
Yeah, I've heard some good stuff about him just being from the area. I've heard some good stuff about him. And Wilkerson, he was the man last preseason, I'm pretty sure, for the Patriots. He popped off, had some good preseason games, so we've at least seen it in him. Kurt, we'll go to you next year with the Patriots. Bruce talked about the running backs. They got, 2 or 3, but 2 like main guys. Are they just complete locks to you? How are you going about that situation? Because I know you're not a big fan of chalk here. So
that's a great point. So I think Strong has been limited in practice lately. People probably weren't thinking about going into the day about an hour ago, but he's just got the clear. So obviously some people are going to still jump on him and play him, but I think he'll be the lowest owned. I think he's a good pivot. He's already looked good in camp. He wouldn't be playing if he's not ready to go. So I think he'd be my favorite. Let's just chalky New England play. So Pierre Strong.
All right. And from the wide receiver side, is there one dude sticking out to you, or do they kind of all blend as like pretty solid plays?
I think Lil Jordan, just because you kind of have, the guy can go attack the ball in the end zone, so they could do some fades to him, which is an easy 6 points to get. So I'm just going to ride what our boy in college, Lil Jordan. Sure, he'll be popular, but all these guys are. So what's it matter?
We've seen Little Jordan in regular season NFL games do some work, so I get that. Big T, last and final on the panel, buddy. What are we doing here? I know you when it comes to some of these plays. It's tough to get away from them. These running backs for the Patriots. What are you doing with them?
Yeah, New England just in general is tough, and yeah, it's a 2-game slate. There's good part of the battle in preseason is just getting positive points because some guys don't end up playing, some guys just don't get any stats. I don't know. I love this, but slates like this are even more interesting because all the New England guys are the best plays. At least they look like the best plays on paper. So they're going to get ownership. It's a matter of how many of them should we play? Where can we get different? The hard part is, so New England only has 5 receivers from what I understand. But the problem is no one really throws all that much in preseason anyways. So I don't know. It's a constant battle with how different to get, because if you play Zappy or however you say the dude's name with, say, 2 receivers, 1 of these running backs, you're already at 4 or 5 New England guys. You have to score some points. What's the 2 totals tonight? I was going to look at that.
Yeah, actually, the Patriots actually opened at 34, and that's like one of the rarer preseason games where we've seen some action on the over. On DraftKings, it's up to 35 on that one. So I think that one versus the Ravens, which that total has dropped about 1.5, 2 points, depending where you're looking. That one's sitting at right around 32 and a half. For the Patriots, I think both those running backs are going to be extremely chalky. When it comes to the receivers, you got a little Jordan Humphrey. He's the bigger guy. He's like 6'4". I think he's going to be a mismatch for him. And you got Tyquan Thornton. He's the speedster. He made some big plays at Baylor last year. I think he scored like 9 or 10, 11 touchdowns last year. And then Kristen Wilkinson's more like the steady Eddie guy, like JSU talked about. He's been there. He did it last year. So he's more the consistent, I think, safer guy for the preseason game.
Yeah, that makes sense. We just had a question in chat too that said Anthony had the question over or under in the Giants-Pats game. In preseason, normally I think the unders are a pretty safe bet, especially the first game. Everything's being tested out. These guys are some of these guys are playing their first like NFL action. These rookies, And those are the guys that are going to get tested more. The coaches want to see the young guys play normally in those preseason games the first week. So I don't know. I kind of lean just being on the under most of the time in these situations. Does anyone have like a take though, over or under in this game?
Unders.
I
for
I
sure.
think you just
I would
blindly
never
bet
bet
the
over.
unders.
Yeah.
Supposedly New England has looked horrible in practice. I've seen their beat reporters just ripping them, mainly because they have a new OC. So their defense has been getting pressure on the QB every play. So
Also, too, their offensive line has been in shambles.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest problem. Just from being out here and reading a lot of stuff, a lot of their issues are stemming from the offensive line, and they're just not in sync. I think the coaching with the offensive line, I'm pretty sure, is different too. And I think they're just all off. So, yeah, that could be an issue. And I don't mind in these situations, first game, I'm not going to play multiple of these Patriots wide receivers. I'm going to plant my flag on like one or two guys and rotate them, but I'm not going to play two of them. Even if I play Zappy or whatever his name is, I'm not going to play two of them with them. I could play running backs with them, but I'm not going to play two wide receivers. I'm going to make sure that I'm only playing one because like Tony said, I think at the end of the day, only one of them gets there anyways. So, because they just don't throw a ton. And with the way the offensive line has sounded in camp so far, they might look even worse as this game goes. So no starters playing. So that's my take
Kind
on
of
them.
interesting looking at this spread. The Patriots opened as a 2-point favorite at home, and now it's moved 5.5 points on DraftKings and a few other spots. They're 3-point underdogs now.
Yeah, but
Pretty
that's
big
got to be a lot to
preseason.
do with them playing some dudes when New England's
Yeah,
not really.
probably.
Correct. Yeah, the
playing
Giants are
guys.
going to play some starters. And let's talk about the Giants. And Tony, why don't you start us off here a little bit here with the Giants who are playing some of their main guys for, I don't know, they said less than a half or something like that. I don't know how much exactly they play. Probably a quarter. Probably just want to see them have a good drive or two, right? Get their feet wet and then get them out there. But what are you doing with the Giants?
Yeah, I'm looking through. I mean, some of the receivers are where I think you can kind of pivot off of some of the New England. I do like the New England receivers, though. It's hard for me. I might literally just fade the second game. One of the things I like to do on 2-game slates a lot is just play one of the games and hope the other game just is really nasty and just I think this is a good slate for it. The first game is going to have a lot of the ownership, but still, by just almost completely fading that second game outside of a few spots, you get different. The Giants, I mean, Wandell was a hero for us in college the last few years. I love him. I'm a little bit worried about him just because he might be too good for preseason. Like, he's a gadget type guy. I don't know. Like, I'm a little torn on him because he's so good. So if he gets extended time, I think he'll crush. I am a little worried, though, that he only plays like 1 or 2 series and then just is done because he's that good. But he's a gadget guy. In preseason, it only takes 1 play, and he could go to the house in 1 play. So I don't know. You got to weigh it. Is this – we got our boy Colin Johnson from Texas too here.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yep.
6'6".
I like him too. He can't be owned. I mean, receivers definitely where you want to get different, without a doubt. There's so many receivers on this slate. They can't all be owned. And yeah, it's a total crapshoot. Tons of them are going to get you 0, 1, 2, and total crapshoot. But if we jam in the running backs, man, I have a hard time not just playing the New England guys plus one other guy. There's other guys you can put for the third. So if I'm playing those 2 guys, I almost have to get at least a little different. Play 1 New England guy instead of 2 at receiver. That makes you a little bit different. And I do like these Giants guys. Colin, Wandell, Richie James might get some decent pub. We've seen him go off at times. Keelan Doss could be a sneaky guy for me. I've seen him do good in the past. I don't know. Receivers definitely where you want to gamble, though, a little bit.
Yeah, and Tony, a guy like Colin Johnson, I'm pretty sure he's like just on the fringe outside looking in of like you got the 3 starters, the 4-man, and then he's like that 5th or 6th guy right now. So he's fighting to get a spot and to, you know, maybe push to be a 4th wide receiver on a team like this. So they're probably going to want to see him play a good bit. I do think Wendell gets pulled whenever the starters just get pulled. Like once they get pulled, he's going. He's not playing with any other quarterback. I think he's already a first teamer, and because like you said, I think he's just too good.
Well, one angle too that I like from this slate, just there's so many of us. Other people can talk here in a second too, but like I like Davis Webb as a sneaky play.
Yes, I love that.
Everyone's going to play Willis and Zappi. I mean, Zappi, however the hell you say his name. Those are for sure going to be the chalky guys for good reason, too. I'm not saying that you should fade them. You should be playing mostly them. But Davis Webb's going to play the whole second half at least, I think. And if you can pair him up with a few of these second halfers, like you wouldn't pair him up with Wandell because he's not going to be in there. So a lot of people that run optimizers don't correlate like they should. I mean, take some chances on some of these receivers further down the depth chart, and maybe a guy like Bruce can help us with who would be a good combo with that, because you want guys that are going to be in there with them. And who knows, you could totally bank the slate when there's no scoring and Webb throws 2 touchdowns to these scrub guys at the bottom who I'm honestly not sure who's going to be in there with them.
How about our boy Bachman from Wake Forest with Davis Webb?
Ehrlich Bachman from
that show is so great. That show
Ehrlich
is so
Valley. I can play Ehrlich.
Oh, my name Ehrlich Bachman. I am fat and lazy.
Yeah, I hope. Is he going to be in there at the same time as Webb? I'll play him.
He definitely should be, right?
Ehrlich Bachman will get it done for us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bruce, you were dropping nuggets in the Discord chat about the Giants. So why don't you throw some of those nuggets to the people a little bit and talk about this Giants team?
Yeah, I think maybe the starters get a drive or two, depending on the length of the first quarter. And then possibly, we're going to see Tyrod Taylor with someone like Richie James, CJ Board, and Colin Johnson with the second group. And then possibly Davis Webb with our guy Bachman and Slayton. Slayton supposedly has the most the most on the line, possibly fighting for his roster spot. So
Darius Slayton's going to be playing with the bums?
Yeah.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
that's something I'm interested in.
Yeah, supposedly he's been with the third group. So
how the hell did he fall that far?
That's what I've been wondering.
He can go yard too.
He might have. He's had some injury issues, Tony. So maybe it just brought him back a little because he always gets nicked up, and I know he's
That's
coming
crazy.
off injury.
That could be a great play.
Yeah.
Rubio, what do you got here in this Giants game? Giants side.
I'm fading the Giants. I just don't think there's any reason to go to them. I like the Slayton thing. I'm going to add him in with my pool here.
You're fading all of them?
Yeah, I think they're a terrible team. I love the Ravens. I love the Titans, too. I really like the Titans, and I think you can just play these Patriots wide receivers, play a couple guys from the Ravens at wide receiver, too, and the Titans with Racey McMath and Kyle Phillips. Like, you have talent. I just don't want to, what if Daniel Jones and them play an entire quarter? And then you're kind of screwed because then you're getting at half at most from some of these guys. And that's in the best case scenario. And with the Titans and stuff, they left a lot of guys home. The Ravens are kind of getting a little bit thin too, based on what the news is. So I just don't see any reason to go with the New York Giants here. And I'm just going to completely fade them. I mean, I might have the defense because the line just flipped so much. And like you guys said, they have had trouble protecting the quarterback. The Patriots have. So the Giants may be able to get to Zap and stuff, but I'll have the Giants defense and a little bit of Slayton, but that's it from me at all.
All right. Snyder, what do you got for the Giants?
Yeah, I don't really like too much from them. I will play some Richie James. He's in the Giants this year. He spent his first 3 years at the 49ers. I think he's going to see probably the most snaps with I don't think Kadarius Toney's going to play. Sterling Shepard's not going to play. So I think Richie James is the guy that's going to step in and see the most meaningful snaps. So I'm going to be on him. I do like Keelan Doss, like you guys were saying too. I think he'll get a lot of run in the second half. That's it.
Sorry, computer issues. Kurt, what do you got here from the Giants? I know you like the Webb call from Tony.
Yeah, I think
What
Webb's
about the
terrible,
wide
but if he plays the whole
receivers?
half, I think stuff.
A lot of these guys are terrible. We agree on
True,
that.
exactly. So yeah, but a whole half, and he's going to be like super low owned. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he could outscore Zappy randomly. Like that wouldn't surprise me. And I like pairing him with like a guy like our boy Bachman from Wake Forest. You can pair him with Doss. I like the thought of playing Slayton, who's like you said on the fringe of the roster. You don't want to go too I wouldn't have like more than like 2 Giants on your roster, but I think they're good to sprinkle in at low ownership.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, let's move on. We got the other game to talk about, and we got about 15 minutes to lock. Or lock of this first game. So let's move on to the Tennessee side. So, Bruce, why don't we go back to you here for the Tennessee side? Breakdown. I know they got some quarterbacks that might get some ownership. Willis, Woodside still there. So what are we doing with those 2 quarterbacks?
Yeah, supposedly Willis is going to get the start, from what I've heard. I don't know if y'all seen that elsewhere or not. I thought I saw a tweet on that somewhere. I'll try and chase it down. But yeah, anyway, he does have nice legs out there. So, he could put up a big score if things fall right for him. He is going up against that Baltimore defense. Baltimore has had so many injuries in preseason. I just wonder how much their starters play, even on defense. Maybe even their good players. They may rest them a little bit, so it may not matter too much. But their other spots are just so overloaded. They have 5 running backs probably going to play, 9 or 10 wide receivers, 4 tight ends. So I'm interested in Willis, maybe someone like Racey McMath or like Burks or Kyle Phillips as well. But yeah, other than that, I don't want to touch anything else.
All right, Kurt, Tennessee side, what do you got here? Any quarterback love, wide receivers?
I actually like with Willis starting, if that's confirmed, it makes me like Woodside more. He'll see the rest of the second half probably and see some of the scrubs, and he'll be like 5% owned. As far as running back, Haskins, the guy from Michigan, I like him. Wide receiver, like I mentioned Dez, but they're running a lot of receivers, so I don't really like the thought of playing a Tennessee wide receiver. So I guess it would be Woodside as a GPP pivot quarterback and Haskins.
I love the Haskins call. I'm going to play Haskins. He's a beast. 225, 6'2". That dude.
Goal line.
Yeah, give me those. Give me one goal line touch and get him in the end zone, baby. That's what we want. And they run the ball a ton anyway. This is preseason too, by the way, so they're going to run even more. They want to see a guy like him probably as well, too. So I like that call. Rubio Dimes, Tennessee. What do you got?
I'm going to be a little bit contrarian here. I kind of like this Tennessee side a lot. Malik Willis is starting, guys. So, yeah, he is going to start. He's going to play at least a half. He might even play the whole game. They know what they got in Woodside. So, I don't want people to completely dismiss Malik Willis. Like, we know what he can do. We know that he had a great combine.
I'm with you.
Yeah, like, if he plays.
He's going to run. We want runners.
You do want runners. Yeah. Zap, living in Kentucky, Western Kentucky legend, Bailey Zapp. Malik Willis is going to be 10 times the NFL player, anything like that, and he can get it done with his legs. And what if you do get 3/4 out of Malik Willis? You're going to have
a way to get different too, right, Rubio? Where we can play Willis and you can play all the New England guys, but you don't have how many people are going to play all the New England guys without the quarterback?
Like you can play naked Malik Willis because he can get
absolutely.
It done.
You should play him all. Well, you can play one of the tight ends.
And I do want to mention, so we got the tight end. So I'm going to play the Patriots tight end, which is, I don't even know his name, Sokol. And I'm going to play this Titans tight end, Chig. Like this dude, like he's been impressing in camp. He fits these builds too, where I don't have to go overload on the Patriots. I can get a piece of the Titans action. I love this Titans team a little bit. I like Haskins. I like Phillips. I like McMahon.
I think that New England tight end is the worst play of the slate.
I love hearing that because I'm going to go a lot of Chig then.
I think the best tight ends are in the next team we're going to talk about. I think they got 2 that you could play, but
that New England guy's literally just a blocker. Like he's going to have to get so lucky to score.
He's got scissor hands. He's terrible.
It's going to be one of those where everyone goes for the run and they pull it and then
he's probably going to score after I'm shitting on him now, but I'm well aware of it.
How about
Snyder,
Oklahoma State guard Isaiah Likely?
the
I
guard.
like him better too.
I like him. Yeah, I like
It's not
him.
actually
Coastal
him.
Carolina?
Dear God, it's not him. He spelled it different. That's not him. But that'd be
Yeah, he's
funny.
from Coastal Carolina. That one is.
Snyder,
Oh,
did you
that's
give
the
your take
guy.
on Tennessee?
No, but I think
Yeah.
I do like Hassan Haskins. He was really good at Michigan, averaged over 5 yards a carry for his career. They had 1,300 yards and 20 touchdowns last year, so definitely think Haskins is going to see quite a bit of run here. I think who's the other guy right there? Wilkins. Yeah, I think Wilkins will see some time too in the second half. Don't mind him. But I'm not too sold on Tennessee. I think Willis and Woodside will see probably 2 quarters each. I expect them to kind of split the time up between those two. Kyle Phillips is a stud at UCLA. I could go to him if I was going to play one of those QBs and stack him up with him. But not too. I like the Ravens side more in this game. No surprise, but I think they can. I think the Ravens are going to score some points here as well.
All right, well, let's talk. Tony, you want to give your Tennessee take real quick before we get to the Ravens?
Tennessee, I am playing Haskins and Chig are the only 2 Titans I like.
And Willis, right?
Oh yeah, and the quarterback, yeah.
In the quarterback.
I
Okay.
just clicked
All
on
right.
flex. So I
Let's
forgot
move to
about
the
him.
Ravens, and all I need to know is, am I playing Oliver or Likely as my tight end? Because I'm playing one of them, so I just need to know. And Bruce, I'm going to come to you with this question: who is it, Oliver or Likely?
I'm playing Likely. I'm just hoping he gets
Right.
the whole second half. He's a dude.
I'm in.
Supposedly, this Poljan guy has looked good also for Baltimore.
Poljam.
Poljan. Poljan. Yeah. Not Pearl Jam. But yeah, supposedly he's been looking good as well. I think they have the best tight end group on the slate, other than Okonkwo for Tennessee. He was a beast at Maryland.
And they use their tight ends too, right? Like this offense, they use their tight
Yep.
ends. We've seen it. So yeah, I agree. I think this
They
is
use
where you
double or
want it.
triple tight end sets, so that's nice.
Oh no, yeah, they'll use a bunch. So these guys are gonna be on the field a little bit together. They use a bunch of double tight end sets. So yeah, Rubio Dimes. What do we got from the Ravens side, buddy?
Well, this Ravens team, it's kind of rough for me. Like, I think just Justice Hill, he's going to be someone who's like kind of fighting for the roster spot after tearing his Achilles. But I know Snyder, you're a Ravens fan, right? So you definitely have a lot of takes here. So I'm kind of curious to hear your take on it, to be honest, because I do like Likely. I do like the fact that Oliver, I mean, they've kind of flashed upside in the preseason, or Oliver did in the preseason last year, and Likely's been a college stud. So I kind of want to hear what Snyder has to say before I make any definitive decisions, but I don't really have many outside Tyler Batty, really.
All right, Kurt, what do you got here from the Ravens side?
The quarterbacks are a mess. I think I sprinkled Anthony Brown just as a dart, but don't have that as a play in single entry. Justice Hill was the guy I went to, and then Batty as well. As receivers, I like Tylan Wallace. I think he's one of my most exposed for Baltimore receivers go. And Bridges was second. I don't really love this team. And I think I'm attacking the tight ends because I know they run 2 or 3 tight end sets. So Oliver, Likely, and I'm going to go with Bruce's guy, Pearl Jam.
All right, Snyder, Ravens side.
Yeah, for the Ravens side, I think Huntley. I think Tyler Huntley is going to play probably the first quarter. I don't think they're going to give him too much of a leash here. We see what happened last year in the preseason. I mean, they lost some bodies. I think Brett Hundley is going to come in and play maybe 2.5 quarters. I think I like him for tournaments. I don't think anybody's going to play him. I think that's the leverage point. He was great at Green Bay. He's a proven NFL guy. And for the receivers, I like Benjamin Victor the most. I don't think he's going to be too highly owned. He's one of the big guys I like. He's from Ohio State, big receiver. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", something like that. Big target, so I like him. And I like Tylan Wallace. He's out of Oklahoma State. I expect him, or I hope he can kind of take a step forward this preseason. Didn't really do as much last year, but man, he flashed a lot of upside at Oklahoma State, and he's been looking good in camp, they're saying, but you can take that for what it's worth. So Tylan Wallace and Benjamin Victor are my 2 favorite receivers. And I think Mike Davis is getting close to maybe getting cut. It sounds like Tyler Beatty Definitely going to see some run here. I think Mike Davis may see some run in the second half. I think he may need to produce. Or I think he's on the chopping block there with Gus Edwards. Still hasn't fully recovered. J.K. Dobbins will not play in this game. So I think it's going to be mainly Beatty and Mike Davis here. Justice Hill will probably sprinkle in some, but I think they know what they have in Justice Hill. I think they want to see more of the other guys. I definitely like Isaiah Likely. They used quite a bit of draft capital on him, drafted him in the 4th round when they already had Mark Andrews. So I think they're going to put him out there and get him to work early and often in this preseason.
All right, before we get to Big T with the final team breakdown, if you're a Rump Your Sports member, get over to the core plays. I see 4 of the 5 core plays. Rubio Dimes, get your fucking core up. And then Big T has his player pool on the other tab. So you go to Big T's player pool. He's got his core highlighted in green, and then he's got the rest of his player pool for broken down by position: quarterback, obviously running back, wide receiver, tight end, obviously, and then the defense. So check that out on the site if you're a member, and also make sure you're in the Discord, because I see Bruce dropping gems in the Discord as we're breaking this down. Tony, let's give the final breakdown here. Ravens, buddy, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm heavier on the first game for sure. The Ravens, who do I got? I mean, really just the tight ends are the only – I'm not high on Baltimore at all, just the tight ends. So easy breakdown.
Just the tight ends for me as well. I mean, guys, we kind of broke down everything. Is there any other tight end anyone would recommend outside of Likely, Oliver, the kid from New England? I can't remember his name. Is there anyone else anyone would recommend as a sneaky play?
Yeah, Bellinger for the Giants. He's been impressive. He's the rookie, I think, out there. So he's been someone who should get playing time for them. But it's the Giants team, so I'm fading him completely.
All right, cool. All right. Anything else here, boys? I mean, defenses we didn't really talk about, but that's kind of good luck figuring out which defense is going to be.
Ravens in the preseason. Ravens defense preseason. That's the nut.
Ravens defense is the nut. Okay.
I mean, they win all their games, so that's got to translate, right?
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Sounds right to me. I'll take a shot. I don't care. Play Malik Willis with the Ravens. You might have just given the difference. Do something like that. Something weird.
Oh yeah. Do not worry about playing any quarterback against defense. Do not worry about that.
Yeah.
At all today,
well,
sure.
No, but people will not.
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's my point.
Willis can't throw at all either. So
even better.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. All right, we got people. Someone in the chat, Willis to Burks first touchdown. You better hope so, because if not, he might need a break after one series. He was having some issues.
How about Willis to Ravens D first touchdown?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Take that.
For sure.
I just want to say, we haven't mentioned J.J. Taylor. He was a preseason hero last year.
I have 15%. Is he playing for sure?
Make sure?
I don't know if they have him at the bottom right now.
I'm not
Ty
playing him.
Montgomery's up there.
6 catches going up your ass, Big T.
For 1 yard
too, because I'm basically locking those top 2 guys. I think those top 2 guys are just like locks.
That's how they seem to me, but I don't know. Let's see, Rubio, you get your core up yet?
Oh yeah, I did. Chig season.
Is JJ Taylor in it?
No.
No, thank God. All right, we're good. Chig season though in Rubio's core, that's for sure. So, all right. Anything else before we get out of here? Game's gonna lock in 2 minutes. Bruce, you got a final gem for the people as we get out of here?
Who's the low own guy from Bruce? That's what we need.
Oh God, the low end receiver. Bruce is the nut. Tell us.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Trey Nixon. I think that's my guy. I played a couple in GPPs. He
supposed to come with Ehrlich Bachman. I thought for sure you were going to fire him up for me.
That's my dart receiver. It's not as high as great as Bruce's though.
Let me give you another one. A Baltimore guy, Jalen Moore, supposedly been looking good in practice as well. Been around for a little while, but they only have 6 guys, so I think that may go overlooked.
Jalen Moore, there you go. There's there it is. All right, boys. Tony, anything else for the people before we split?
No, I'm excited to watch a little football for like the first 8 seconds, and then I realize how bad it is every time.
Yeah, you're going to be sending the tweet out after like probably a quarter. I'll give you a quarter before you send the tweet out. Kurt, you want to get us out of here with some like headbanging, like,
Hey.
crazy.
It might suck, but football is back, baby. Let's get some big hits, and they're going to be penalties, but who cares? Let's go.
Snyder, wrap us up here, bud. Good luck, everybody.